Hi there everybody, it's Martin Twycross here with another talk. So today's video is an inspired address that I did during a recent online service at a spiritualist church. The topic of the talk is the purpose of mediumship, and in it I talk about the different ways that mediumship can help us, but what I believe to be the true purpose of mediumship. So if that sounds of interest, stay with me. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Lovely to see so many of you in the room. Lovely to see so many faces that I know this evening. It's lovely that you can join us. So in talking this evening, I thought I'd like to talk to you about the purpose of mediumship. If I asked many of you what the purpose of mediumship is in a spiritualist church here and now, many of you would of course tell me that the purpose of mediumship is to demonstrate survival. Because when we do a demonstration of mediumship within a spiritualist church, that is what we seek to do. We seek to demonstrate survival. And we often say, whilst a lot of other religions believe in an afterlife, it's in the spiritualist churches where we demonstrate it. It's in the spiritualist churches on the platforms and the virtual platforms, which we are now, day in, day out, week in, week out, where mediums stand up and bring forward that evidence that demonstrates that those we've lost to the spirit world are very much alive, that they do indeed survive physical death, that death is not the end. As spiritualists, we don't like the word death. We use the word passing or transition because death sounds so final. So we like to use words that do not suggest that finality. So demonstrating survival, proving survival is a main part of what demonstrating the spiritualist church is about. I would say we cannot prove survival to anybody. You have to get a body of evidence for you which will meet your criteria as proof. For myself, in 2 days I went to Hampton Hill Spiritualist Church. My very first visit, my mum came through. The next day I came along to Open Platform and my granddad came through. And the evidence that came through within 24 hours was so strong that I had my proof, that I believed, that I knew my loved ones survived physical death. And if I asked you, what else does mediumship do for us? Many of you will say, well, it brings a great deal of comfort, for it does indeed comfort the bereaved. We know that. When we've lost somebody and they come through and communicate with us and let us know that they are still alive, that they just exist in a different dimension, just slightly out of sight over the horizon, that brings such a huge degree of comfort. When I lost my mum and I wondered, is there a reality of life after death? Has she survived death? Does she still exist? To be able to hear from my mum through a medium, to be able to have that evidence that demonstrated that she was alive, that comfort that brings is beyond price. It is truly priceless. It is beyond words. It is beyond price. It is something truly special. And think about it. If you went away to a different country, what's one of the first things you want to do? You want to ring home and let everybody know, I've arrived safely. I've made it. Don't worry about me. I'm fine. And it's exactly the same with spirit. They want us to know they are alive. They want us to know they're safe and well. They want us to know they're fit, they're good, they're happy. And that's why they come through many times through mediums. But you may say, well, why do they keep coming back? Once they've let us know they're okay, why do they keep coming back? Why do we keep getting messages even when we've had our proof of survival? Why do we keep getting messages even when we've been given that initial comfort? And of course, the simple answer is because those that belong to you love you. They care about you. They're a part of your life. Why should they not still be a part of your life? They see your thoughts. They hear your words. They know what happens in your life. They want to be a part of your life. They want to be there to support you, to help you, to guide you, to bring that support that they would have brought if they are here in the physical. We may have lost them physically, but often we have not lost their support. That support comes to us from the spirit world. Absolutely. And for me, mediumship is profoundly healing. Mediumship enables healing to take place. Many communications have a very profound healing element within them. And when people go to the spirit world, they get to see their lives. They see from a different perspective. They see how they lived. They understand more about their earthly life. They see the mistakes they made. They see what went well. They see where they perhaps didn't do as well as they would have liked. And they have that opportunity to come through to make amends. They have that opportunity to say sorry, or that opportunity to say, I never told you, but I love you. It's so important you know I love you. They have the opportunity to interact with us, to create healing, both for them and for us, profoundly healing for both parties or either party. And people say to me, well, my loved ones brought through a message saying sorry. They've let me know they're sorry and I've accepted their apology. Why do they keep coming through mediums, multiple mediums, time and time again to say they're sorry? And the simple answer is they wish to acknowledge it. The simple answer is by repeating that message, they demonstrate their sincerity with the apology. And it's part of their story. How they lived their lives here, it's a part of that story. And by bringing it forward, it helps to create that healing. If you hear the apology once, you may think, well, that wasn't really their personality. They would never have apologized. But when they come back time and time and time again with that apology, yes, it awakens us that they are sincere. They are changing. And they do change in spirit. They want us to know that they change. They want us to know that we are all on this journey of spiritual growth. And when they reach the spirit world, that is still a part of this journey. This earthly life is a part of that journey. But for me, more than anything else, the purpose of mediumship is to awaken us. For me, more than anything else, Spirit, the divine, wants us to know the reality. Let's face it, all of you here, one day you will pass to the spirit world. One day you will die. If anybody thinks that they won't die, do let me know their secret. Do let me know if you've got a philosopher's stone. Do let me know if you've found a weird potion that will keep you here forever. But one day we will leave the physical. We won't die, of course, because we'll still survive in the spirit world. But we'll leave behind this physical shell. We'll leave behind the flesh and bone. We will move forward into a different dimension, a different realm, and continue as the same person we are, the same personality. At the moment of death, we are the same. We do not change. We cannot change. We are the same. Death does not make us instantly spiritual. I don't become the Dalai Lama, Mother Teresa, or Buddha or Jesus at the point of passing. How can I? I'll be me. You will be you. But we will see differently. We will see through different eyes. But the whole purpose of mediumship for me is to awaken us to our true spiritual nature, that we are so much more than we perceive ourselves to be, that we're not just a body, that we're not just this shell going through this life having this physical existence. No, this is but one stage of a much greater, a much grander, a much more majestic journey. Spirit wants us to know that we are eternal, that we cannot die for the life of us, that there is no such thing as death, that we will always exist. And think about that, always existing. How amazing is that? I often like to ponder eternal life when I'm stood in the post office queue. You know, the one where it's really long and it comes out the door and it goes down the street and you say, I'm going to be here in eternity. I always think, okay, well, what really is eternity? What is it? And for me, Spirit wants us to understand that there is that afterlife. They want us to understand that how we live our lives here determines the next stage of our existence. They want us to understand what truly matters. Their messages they bring back to us demonstrate what truly matters. How many people do you hear coming through a medium who say, I wished I'd worked harder. I wished I'd ignored my family more. I wished I'd been more materialistic. How many come back to say, oh, I wish I had not bothered with any of that lovey-dovey stuff? No. They come back and what matters most is the people they shared time with. What matters most is the love they have for people. What matters most is the service, the help we give to others. What matters most is the joy that we create in our own lives and the lives of others. So they want us to know that, because that gives us the clues to what will make our lives happier in the spirit world. That's what they want us to know. They don't want us to make mistakes here and get to the spirit world and have a world of regret. And they don't want us to get to the spirit world and have to come back multiple times to apologize. They don't want us to get to the spirit world before we're willing to say to somebody, you're my family, I never told you it, but I love you. Their message is, do it now. Their message is, see what matters now. If there's someone you love, tell them you love them. If they think you're a soppy git, fine. Doesn't matter. My family think I've gone mad at times when I tell them I love them. It's like he's gone a bit mad. He's gone a bit loop. But no, express it. If it's there, express it. But Spirit wants us to know our power. They want us to know the majestic splendor that is the soul, the Spirit. They want us to understand the power we have, the creative power within our thoughts, that what we create with our mind becomes our reality. They don't want us to go through this life and wish that we go to a place of heaven. They want us to create the heaven here and now. With our actions, with our thoughts, with our behavior, we can create heaven in the space we occupy. And then that way, when we reach the spirit world, we'll take heaven with us. We won't get to the spirit world and hope to find a heaven and perhaps be disappointed. I think a lot of people get to the spirit world and they get a shock. A lot of people get to the spirit world and they say, it's not like what I was told. They get to the spirit world and they say, I was promised heaven. And life here is a lot like life was on earth. And they'll be told, heaven exists within you. The way to heaven is through your thoughts, through your behavior, through your love, through the service you give to others. Did you not understand that when you were upon the earth? And sometimes as spiritualists, we come to services, we hear mediums talk, we get all those clues and signposts to help us along the way. And sometimes we don't always listen, we don't always follow them, we don't always see what's right in front of us. So when mediumship takes place, Spirit wants us to know. Spirit wants us to know that communication between those who love each other is a reality. Spirit wants us to know that those bonds of love exist and are eternal. Spirit wants us to know that our loved ones walk this path with us, supporting us, helping us. Spirit wants us to know that no matter what we do in our lives, we are not judged and we are not held back by it. We have the opportunity to progress ourselves with our own behavior and our own actions. Progress is not denied to anybody. But most of all, Spirit wants us to know that we are eternal, that we are powerful, that we are a fragment of the divine, that we are full of those spiritual qualities if only we seek to dive in, unfold them and express them. We are love, we are joy, we are spirit. Thank you. So if you enjoyed this video, then do hit the like button. Do leave me a comment. If you like my videos, subscribe to the channel. So I hope you got lots from it, and I look forward to seeing you all again in the next one.